Hey, it's Mike from Savvy Nomad, and we want to be the first to wish every nomad and expat a happy new year, no matter where you are in the world. Now, once you're done popping those champagne bottles and, in some cases, recovering from your hangover, you should start thinking about the year ahead. 2026 is likely to bring big changes for expats and nomads, some of them positive, some of them not so positive, so we need to be prepared. We thought it would be useful to make some predictions and examine some of the trends that affect people like us. So without further ado, let's take a look at our magical crystal ball. Our first prediction is that the trend of Americans retiring abroad is going to accelerate. In our view, this one is pretty obvious because everything in the US is going up in price, from housing to healthcare, you name it. It used to be that only wealthy people could live a global lifestyle, but a lot of our clients are just regular people, retired teachers, military veterans, basically middle class people living on a pension or a 401k. Places like South America, parts of Europe, they're especially popular because they offer special retirement or pensionado visas designed for people living on a pension or investment income. Now, besides Americans who are retiring abroad, there's also those Americans who renounce US citizenship. In 2024, an estimated 4,000 Americans formally cut ties, which is up significantly from the 200 to 300 a year who renounced citizenship 15, 20 years ago. We think that number could reach a new record in 2026, mainly because US tax rates and filing requirements are not going down in any meaningful way. One wild card here is President Trump, who did promise that he would end double taxation for expats during his 2024 campaign. A few bills have been introduced in Congress, but so far they've all petered out. We don't think anything is going to change, but we would like to be surprised, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. We also predict that new hotspots will emerge for nomads and expats, especially in Asia. Places like Thailand, they've been popular among the expat crowd for many years, and they're probably going to remain popular for a long time to come, but we're starting to see a spillover effect into less hyped up destinations like Vietnam and Nepal. Cities like Da Nang and Kathmandu, they're still a little rough around the edges in terms of infrastructure and housing, but they're among the least expensive cities in the world to live. People who live there now, they always hate it when we mention them because they want to keep it a secret for themselves. And speaking of Asia, historically, a lot of these countries haven't been so friendly in terms of their visa policies toward expats and nomads, but we think that's going to change for the better. Nepal announced that it would launch a 5-year digital nomad visa sometime in 2026, and Vietnam plans to introduce a 5 to 10-year golden visa for investors. The Philippines and Kazakhstan also recently joined the digital nomad visa bandwagon, so overall we expect this trend to continue. On the other hand, Europe has only been getting more and more restrictive when it comes to visas and tax policy for expats. In 2025, we saw a lot of countries tighten citizenship requirements. Malta was the last country in Europe to offer a golden passport for sale. That's now gone. Portugal used to offer a 5-year pathway to citizenship for golden visa holders. Now it's 10 years. Italy used to offer citizenship by descent to great-grandchildren of Italians. Now, as of 2025, that's no longer allowed. Basically, all of those easy backdoors into EU citizenship, they're all gone. When it comes to taxes, we still have some favorable tax policies. Italy, for example, with its €200,000 flat tax on foreign-sourced income. But that amount, it's already double what it was a few years ago, so that could increase again next year for all we know. It's a very similar story with golden visas. The amount that wealthy expats are required to invest if they want permanent residence, we think it's going to keep going up. Whether that's in 2026 or in future years, we think it's definitely coming. So bottom line, if any of these programs are on your radar right now, you better get on them sooner rather than later. And finally, we think that expats and nomads who earn income remotely will continue to move from high-tax states and establish a domicile in low-tax states like Florida and Texas. This has a few implications, the first being that California and New York, they'll keep going after former residents for taxes. We have a lot of content on how to avoid these state income tax audits, so make sure you check that out. We also think that some popular states for nomads could become less friendly. For example, South Dakota has been making life harder and harder for expat residents, which is why we discontinued our services there. Here at Savvy Nomad, we help expats and nomads move their domicile to Florida, which is still very expat friendly. So if you want to learn more about that, check out the link in the video description and be sure to use the code YouTube for a special discount. Now, if you have any predictions or thoughts about what's in store for the new year, make sure you drop a comment. We always love to get input from our fellow expats. And don't forget to subscribe to our free email newsletter, Americans Abroad. We'll keep you updated on all the big doings in the expat community. Link is in the video description. Once again, we wish you a happy new year, safe travels, and keep watching for more expat tax tips and financial knowledge.